Bobrovsky, what a stop!
My goodness, what a save!
What a save! What a glove save there, but what a stop! Looked like a sure goal. You talk about an A+ save and maybe the save of the night.
Welcome to the Goalie Science Podcast, where we break down the science of goaltending, coaching, and everything in between. I'm Dr. Jamie Phillips, former professional goalie, board-certified physical therapist, and goalie performance specialist, alongside my co-host, Derek Boujan, owner of Boujan Goaltending and On Ice Hockey Performance Center. Whether you're on your way to a game, gearing up for practice, or just tuning in, grab your favorite drink and let's drop the puck on this week's episode. Welcome to another episode of the Goalie Science Podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, you might be thinking, hey, they are not in person. Like they promised they would be in person. The answer to that is you're right. We are not in person because either we forgot or ran out of time. One of those two. But anyways, Derek, the joint bachelorette party is over. We did not record an in-person podcast, unfortunately. We do have all your questions and we're going to answer them today. But how are you feeling? It's good to see you. It's good to see you in person again. It's been a while.
It's been 18 months maybe, because you're landlocked into Michigan and you're not allowed to leave. So I think it's been a while.
I wasn't last time I was home was it was August. It was August I came back because that was the first time you had met Fran in person. Because my dad got sick last year.
Oh.
So we went back in August. So almost a year. Damn. We would love to recap the bachelor party for you. We probably won't, because we just want to keep all of our sponsors happy. It was a good time. Actually, best bachelorette party I've ever been on for sure.
It was.
Say that again.
It was a good weekend. And yeah, for the sake of staying professional, the stories will die there.
The stories will die there, but you know what? We have to make something like that like an annual thing. I mean, my parents have a cottage. I don't know why we just don't go there, but I talked to Fran. Maybe next year we'll just rent some sort of party bus and take us from Michigan to Huntsville or wherever my parents' cottage is.
Look at you, been dropping off. I'm so rich. I have cottages in Huntsville vibes.
No, it's not. My boomer parents have money because they were able to buy a house when it cost 25 cents a stick of chewing gum. So now it just makes sure the housing market is ruined for everyone else in the future. So that's where we're at. And then when you take a party bus and you split it 47 ways, it's not that expensive.
Yeah, that does sound like a good. I'm down to go to Huntsville because Huntsville's like a 3-hour drive, and that's like 1/3 of the drive that it took to get where we went. So I'm down. And the road trip buddy was snoring, farting, falling asleep. So I did 14-hour drive basically by myself over a day and a half. So I'm sure he listens to this and he's gonna whine because yeah, he put out one podcast and fell asleep for 14 straight hours. No big deal.
My road trip buddy also fell asleep on the way back, so I was flying solo. I did crush 2 monsters in order to make the 2-hour drive home.
What's on a today? What are we rocking in the goalie world?
We did promise that we would answer questions. We were promising that we'd answer them in person, and then play a drinking game, but instead we're just going to answer some questions. So we put out I put out a post on social media, and I also did get a couple emails too. So we'll go through them. We'll answer it. We'll just have fun conversation, and then unless there's anything else that you want to tee up on the docket, I know that we're working on getting some NCAA coaches on. A bunch of different people in the future episodes, so you don't have to listen to just Derek and I ramble on. But the first question we have is, what are your tips on how to bring an elite athlete mindset to the real world for goalies post-career?
Oh wow, that is a solid. Is that your question? Did you ask that question?
No, it's from Coffee Black 07.
Holy. How do you okay, well, okay, so I think you are probably very equipped to answer this question, but I'll give my non-elite goalie mindset mentality answer and saying that the purpose of playing hockey, and I'm going to talk about this as a coach and as a father and as an athlete, so I'm wearing three hats here. The purpose of having athletes play high level sports and having athletes surround themselves with people that have goals and ambitions and focus and dedication is not to make the NHL. It's not to get famous and get rich. It's to learn the life skills that when you are done playing this sport that we all love, that you can transition into a high functioning adult, just like you. Like you have now done this amazing thing with this clinic. And you're able to do those things because of the skills that the game has allowed you to learn. And it's funny because I have conversations all the time about, oh, why are you taking your son out of his home center to go play AAA? We're all going to play men's league at the end of the day. Yeah, we are all going to play men's league at the end of the day. They all are. And hopefully they still love playing. But along the way, you learn commitment, you learn dedication, you learn what hard work is, you learn what focus is, you learn all of those things when you surround yourself with high functioning athletes that have a similar mindset. So I would say that if you are an elite athlete, the guy that's asking this question, if you've played elite sports, you've already done the work to prepare yourself for life after hockey.
You hit the nail on the head with most things. What I'm going to add in is there's a reason that a lot of employers look for former athletes, and it's, obviously to be able to work with a team. Well, a big thing here is being able to accept criticism. That was actually one thing that surprised me quite a bit going back to school. The doctorate program for a PT, like there's a lot of things that you do where you have to go into a room and you have mock fake scenarios, and you have professors sitting there watching you and grilling you. And like kids cry, like people cry. I'm not gonna lie, once I didn't cry. I waited till I got to my car and then I cried. But like they're grilling you and they're just roasting you on all the things. Why are you doing that? Why are you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? But being like when you're in an athletic scenario, you have coaches that are harder than you. They're asking you things. You have unless you're in an individual sport, you have teammates to be accountable for. All these things create, like you had said, create one high functioning adult, but the ability to withstand criticism and be able to handle the real world. On top of everything Derek said, my biggest tip would be you need to find something that you're passionate about. Like we all play the game regardless of position or regardless of sport because it's what we love to do and we enjoy all of it. Like, yes, we all wanted to make the NHL. Yes, we all want to do these things, but we have to know that like Derek said, the goal is not to make the NHL, it's to be the best that you can be at your sport. So if you can find something that you are passionate about and be able to apply that, whether, if you are an accountant and your goal is to be the best accountant and the most successful accountant, perfect. If your goal is be a physio and your goal is to open a clinic and do all those things, when you are passionate about that, that mindset comes with it. The mindset that you've built from the time that you put on your skates when you were younger to the day that you officially retired from competitive hockey, you have all the tools there. You just need something to apply it and express all the traits that you've learned. So if you're passionate about it, it's easy to go all in. It's easy to have that elite athlete mindset because all those tools there have already been created. Let's do a question.
That's a monster. Like we could do a whole podcast on that question. So bravo. And it's probably a pretty good idea that we answered that question not in person at a cottage in the lake where we were supposed to be doing a drinking game. That's what you're saying. So, but what a start. Like
That was a good start. I didn't screen the questions, so like now hindsight, I'm like, ah, dang, how are you gonna top that one? So move on.
the next one is gonna be like, how do I tie my skates in a double knot? Okay. Well,
This is well, actually, I did skip this over. I'm not gonna say the name, but it's like, what's the best chest protector? And everyone knows the answer is CCM Pro.
Vaughn. VX1, yeah, it is.
No, CCM Pro is the best one. Actually, speaking of chest protectors, I had a goalie. Vaughn, this is for Vaughn. Stop making the shoulder floaters Velcro. Stop it. Because the Velcro wears down and then the shoulder floaters come off, and then the goalie has to fix their shoulder floaters all the time. Either put the straps that you can loose, like the nylon straps that you can loosen and tighten, or sew them in. Stop with the Velcro shoulder floaters. Next question. What is a good way to have younger goalies work on, I think they mean quiet. They said quiet hands and upper body.
You want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. Med balls. It's really, I think the way that I approach it with quiet hands is I do like having a lot of video feedback, like showing the goalies what they're looking at and what they look like when they're skating. Because oftentimes, well, usually anything, if you're trying to correct a problem, the goalie or the athlete doesn't know that they're doing it because it's a natural feeling. So for them able to see it is really helpful. I will use, like, I'll balance my player stick on top of their hands and just kind of show them, hey, like when you're moving, if your glove comes up, you can see that the stick starts to dip down to the blocker side and vice versa. Or if the stick falls off when you're moving, you aren't totally in control. I don't use the med balls. I don't use like the title tank or anything like that. I want the goal. It's very important for me that the goalies are able to figure out how to have control without any external stimulus or external cueing. So showing them, really focusing on coaching it. And then, obviously, like core strength and stuff is huge. That should be a given. But doing drills that force the goalies to have good hand positioning, especially when they're sliding. Because usually that's where you see it. You'll see a goalie do a butterfly and they'll have to power push across and they'll swing their arms back and they'll have no control. So by doing drills where you force them to have control, that's when you're going to kind of build that habit up. And then you can show them with the video in real time saying, when you pushed, can you see how you weren't able to make that save because you brought your arms behind you and you swung? And usually it's younger kids and they go, oh, okay, I see it now. And then you do it again and then you do it again. And it just takes time. And that's kind of the way that I approach it.
That's good. I was going to say, like, I'll build off that a little bit. If you did a good job of how to identify if you have active hands or overactive hands or busy hands or whatever we want to call it. Easiest way to fix it if on the goalie coaching side is we do skating, right? And we do skating where it's a little bit more controlled. It's more about trying to be smooth than it is about being fast. Because when guys are trying to be fast, they're going to swing their hands. They're going to use their hands to develop power. So like everybody laughs about the med ball thing. The med ball has a little bit of a purpose. Now, I'm not a guy who puts a med ball on the ice all the time. I do it once in a while. But it can help the goalies learn how to generate that power just for the bottom half. And I think the guys that try to generate all their power with their entire body end up having active hands when they're skating. So if you're doing skating patterns, really focus on everything moving as a unit. Nothing is segmented or separated. Everything is connected. And that's like the big thing this summer I've been doing in my summer power skating sessions is the word connected is like the one that is like circled. Like we are working on everything being connected. So that's number one. Number two, now you have to build on that into saves, like save execution. And two things I like to do. Number one is I like to do a lot of hand work when we're teaching goalies to use their hands when they're already in a butterfly. So they're in a butterfly because what happens is you get those hands that sag early. So if they're in their stance and their hands start to sag down before the shots come, they're already moving the wrong way. So if they start in a butterfly and your hands are in like a good ready position, active position, you can take direct lines to the puck. So all that's doing is just building motor pattern. And it's simplifying everything. Right? So if you want to fix one problem, then focus on that one problem. And I get people like, oh, you're having guys sit in a butterfly. All they're going to do is butterfly all the time. No, because the purpose of what we're doing here is to work on direct lines to the puck with the hands. And then the last one is and this one I'll come at some goalie coaches for this one, is like guys that teach goalies to in their stance to have their hands already extended too far. Like their hands are already projected so far in front of them. Get your hands way out. If I do this, yeah, this is going to force everybody to watch this on YouTube. But if my hands are starting way out here in my stance, I only have one place I can go first, and it's back. It's hard for me to go side to side from out here. So anybody who teaches over-exaggerated projection of hands when they're on their feet, you are already pre-programming a goalie not to catch a puck. Like the hands should be in a very comfortable position in front of the hips, maybe just over top of the knees, but in a position where there's less stress in your shoulders and your arms, your triceps, and all those big muscles are going to be able to move into direct lines.
You want your hands relaxed. You don't want them tense and elbows straight, which we see. And like, you see like the Connor Hellebuck hands, where a lot of goalies be like, Helly keeps his hands like this. Yeah, you're not Hellebuck. And you also can't catch. Now, despite how Helly keeps his hands, he can catch a puck. So, but there is, we don't need to, I think we've talked about before, some of the biomechanics of like muscle tension. And basically the easiest way to sum it up is if your hands are super noodly and relaxed, you can't move very well. If your hands are tight as a board, you can't move very well. But somewhere in between, you can move pretty well. That's how you kind of want your hands. And like you said there too, is like allowing the goalies, and we going into North American coaches as kind of over coaching the ability and coaching our goalies not to catch, is just allowing our goalies to have our hands like fall kind of naturally. Yeah, some of the natural like position might not be ideal, and we can always tweak it. But for the most part, like goalies they regress to a position that is most comfortable for them to catch a puck. And by forcing them to have your glove this way at this perfect angle, it really overcomplicates things, and it makes it very difficult for that goalie to catch a puck.
Can we do a rant about goalies and coaches that teach turn the wrist to control the rebound of the blocker side? Like, is this not the biggest pet peeve in the entire world of view?
That is easily one of my it's just rebound. It's active rebound control.
Did you have a stroke?
I did. I went to burp and I tried not to.
Holy!
I know. Like you said, this idea of active rebound control. You know where I see it? One, the blocker, stick saves. There's a reason that goalies can't make stick saves is because they're turning their whole body. And they're awful.
Very far. It's meet the puck. Same with the blocker. Blocker and stick to me. It's just meet the puck. You're not trying to direct the puck. Just meet the puck. There's this thing. It's like this world phenomenon. It's called physics. And you can look it up. Like it's been around for a couple years. And when the puck gets shot across to your blocker, all you need to do is meet it. You can't actively have it like stick to you, you turn it and you throw it. Like just meet it. Let it hit the middle of your blocker and you will control the rebound. It's unbelievable how that works.
Blockers are angled to put it in the corner when it's hit basically straight on.
Yes.
So you don't have to do anything. Oh, mate. So it's actually been fun. So I've been putting like the kind of the classic on ice, two nets beside each other, like double goalie drills where one goalie is making a save and trying to score on the other goalie. And it's been fun because now that I'm in the RBH section of summer, I can have that goalie make it to, oh my goodness. What did I eat today? Coffee? Oh, I just had caffeine. That's probably why. Strictly 600 milligrams. Where the goalie's making a stick save and it's deflecting on the other goalie, and that goalie's in their RBH or making a save off of a quote unquote tip. And I have had 17, you think I'm having strokes now? I'm having 17 strokes a night because all the goalies, the puck's coming at the middle of their body and they are swinging away and missing it. It's like, it's a triangle. It's a triangle in front of us. Just meet that puck. Meet that puck, and your wrist has to move. You're watching on YouTube. Your wrist goes from here to there with the stick in hand. That's it. Now that puck is perfectly in the corner. And it's funny because, and I give you a lot of credit because I didn't realize all this stuff was important until now. Like all those drills where the other goalie is trying to score on the other goalie with a deflection save, the ability to just like understand your stick and put that puck where you want it is so underutilized. But the best goalies will do these drills, and the best goalies are going bar down on each other. And then I'll have even some junior guys that struggle with stick saves miss the net, miss the net, miss the net, This is that. I'm like, listen, if you score, you're gonna give your other goalie burpees. Like, it's a challenge. It's fun. Like, I can't do it. I have zero stick control. So we've been doing a lot of these drills.
Well, with you, we would do that for rebound control purposes. I don't even do those drills anymore for rebound control purposes. To me, it's like not even in the top 5 reasons why I would do a drill with 2 nets beside each other. I do those drills now for one reason: processing if it was a shot or a pass, and that's it. That's more for the other goalie, because now the goalies don't know if they're getting like a shot on the short side where they're trying to control the rebound, or if they're going to have to rotate and push into a pass. So, I mean, it's got so many functions of do that. But yeah, trying to get goalies to understand that if you want to control rebounds, the number one thing to control a rebound is balance. It's good save execution. It's not directing or deflecting. It's just making a good save with the proper part of your equipment will control your rebound. They put a lot of luck.
Positioning and tracking.
Yeah.
So yeah, I noticed it.
Good question.
Yeah, that's how it was. That actually is going to get me off the rails briefly. It's the same idea. Yeah, I don't really use it as the rebound control is meant for, like you said, the other goalie. They need to track it. My newest pet peeve here is goalies that go into the RVH and turn their brain off. And it's something I've been seeing a lot.
Newest pet peeve. That is the pet peeve of the decade.
True. But the ability to track the puck when you're in your RVH seems to be lost on a lot of goalies. So a lot of what we've been doing is that tip from an RVH position where they need to make that save with their hands. And sometimes they have to lean to the shoulder or the post, and sometimes they have to bump off the post. But I've just been like, we do these RVH drills. As soon as they hit the RVH, it's done. No, you got to track down. You got to.
You know what? You want me to fix that for you? You know why? You know why that happens?
Fix it for you.
Because every skating drill in the world that doesn't involve a shot or a puck has an RVH.
True.
So we're just teaching these guys to go into an RVH and not even focus on a puck that's getting shot. And you're bad at it, because I'm on the EGM Labs app. I watch a lot of these dynamic RVH integration videos that you have put in. And guys are doing heel cuts and going RVH, no puck. So it's your fault.
Yeah. Well, they're learning, and now I'm doing it, and they're learning that I'm fixing all my problems.
And this goes back to the first question of being able to take criticism.
Yeah, I learned that obviously I am an issue. How do I stay sharp while being injured? This one I said specifically an ankle, but this will go for any injury. I'll take this one, being the physio injury guy. Is fine. First, 2 things. Don't overcomplicate it. Second, try to do as much as you can around the injury. That's it. So if you have injured your ankle, and let's just say you can't actively go into a butterfly, but you could sit like a lunge stance and it doesn't hurt. Do tracking drills, do hand-eye drills, do anything like that from that lunge position. Let's just say it's unlikely that you can go into a full butterfly with a injured ankle, but let's just say you can. Then, if you're able to, sit in a butterfly with your equipment on and have someone shoot pucks at you, and you make saves with your hands. Do your training with your ankle, whatever ankle injury you can. So like mostly upper body. Make sure you do, like, if you don't have a rowing machine, if you have a rowing machine, like we do this a lot with like ACL and knee injury patients, is their injured leg will be on like a slider, and it's just sliding back and forth while their non-injured leg is doing the work. And so, like, being able to find ways to work around your injury to stay dialed, stay engaged is going to be your best option. And again, it's never going to be perfect. So accept the fact that you're injured. It is what it is, but you're going to be in the best position to come back and recover as quickly as possible and get back on the ice without losing too much of a beat as soon as you're cleared for sport.
Yeah, like we've seen it. The first thing you lose, and I call it getting out of routine. So the first thing that goes away when you're out of routine is your eyes. So depending on what your injury is, number one, you're just going to have to accept that you're injured. And like staying sharp when you're injured, good luck, because it's going to take time. But like if you're going to do anything, you're right. He's like, puck machine, stand up. Try to keep your eyes as dialed as you can. But I would say if you can't skate, then that doesn't give you the excuse not to go and learn something. Go and watch video. Go and learn about a power play setup. Go and learn about a forecheck setup. Like, go and learn about puck handling decisions goalies make. So if the one thing you can keep sharp, when I hear stay sharp, right, I automatically just think the mind, right? Because if you're injured, like if you have an ankle injury, it's going to take you longer than you think to feel good. And you know that. And I've seen it for 20 years, is guys getting injuries and they're like, oh yeah, I'm going to be back 2 weeks. And I'm like, you're back in 8 weeks. And it's not even close to 8 weeks sometimes. So if you're injured, if it's like a shoulder or a finger or your hand is broken, yeah, you can still jump on the ice. You wear something over your glove so guys don't shoot at it. I mean, it's still scary. Jump on with a goalie coach. They're a lot smarter than players. They won't shoot at your broken hand. But I mean, I would challenge you, if you're injured and you can't skate, then get smarter. Do something and keep your ice. But you're not going to stay sharp. Sorry. You can't. Because the thing that keeps you sharp is confidence and routine. And the second you're injured, you're losing your routine. And the second you lose your routine, you're losing your confidence.
Yes. This one will be someone's listening and you're going to ask about it and I'll address it. Yes. I'm not a big Sense Arena guy. I said that many times. I don't think it's a supplement, not a substitute. But VR training in general for any injury, and this is both in athletic and non-athletic populations, there is evidence for that VR training is super helpful. So if you do have Sense Arena and you put it on, and again, it's basically just allowing you to stay engaged with your mind. That's it. So if that's something you have and you have access to, go for it. Let's just say you do go through major hip surgery or something, you're going to be off the ice for 16 plus weeks. Yeah, I would say investing in Sense Arena is pretty good because it just gives you something to do when you actually can't do anything and you're sitting in bed. So like a VR like that, like Derek said, watch some things, watch power play format, watch things on the EGM Labs app, the shameless plug there, but just have access to different coaching things because it will just help. And there will be a transition period where you're going to suck again, but it'll come back quicker than you think once you're cleared for sport and you can start to get back in skating and routine.
Wait. You hit on something there that I want to address quick.
Yep.
And sometimes by accident, you're smart. So sometimes what you said there is when you come back, you're going to suck. Yeah. And that's okay. But that's the thing is everybody gets so worried and so scared that I'm going to forget how to play goalie. Yeah. For 2 skates, you're probably going to suck. And it's going to be okay. Because if you have a head coach, let's say you have a high ankle sprain and you have a head coach that you're out for 8 to 12 weeks and then he throws you in and do a game 6 when you haven't skated more than maybe 2-3, then your coach is an idiot because he should expect that you're going to suck. And that's the thing is, why can't we just allow ourselves to suck sometimes? Like, if you have a concussion and you try to come back, you're going to suck because your brain is foggy. Your brain, so I've never played with a concussion. What I've had athletes that say to me that have come back early, it's like somebody's pressed fast forward on the game and I'm playing at 1.3 speed. And then learning everything what a concussion does to you with you and Ackerman is completely made sense to me on why he says that. But that's the thing is we put so much pressure on ourselves to come back so quick because we're so fearful that we're going to lose our position or we're going to lose ground or we're not going to be good or we're going to suck. It's not going to happen. You guys if you're playing at a high level, it's because you are a high level goalie. When you come back, you are going to suck. It's going to be tough. Allow yourself to suck for 2 to 3 starts. There's a reason goalies in the NHL suck for the first month of the year.
It's reason conditioning stints. You sent down to the American League to play a couple of games exists.
Why do every single NHL season, they put up the graphic on Sports Center and it says NHL scoring is up this season. And then by November, NHL scoring is down. Now, there's obviously correlation between team structure and stuff, but it's because the goalies are giving up bad goals because the goalies in October suck.
Agreed. Next question. So I'll read the question and then I will let you answer it first. That's the last one. says favorite, although I don't think the drill is the best way to do it, but it says favorite drill to help a youth goalie judge inbound breakaway speed.
In Brown?
Inbound.
Oh, okay.
Just like just judging breakaway speed.
How does a young goalie play a breakaway? Speed?
Yeah, like, so they're able to like quote unquote match the speed.
Okay, well, I hate that. Stop saying that because people say that and it's wrong. We don't match the speed. We want to be slower. So this is as I like to try to find the most simplest way to explain something to somebody. And breakaway is a good one. I say, and I'm going to do it without swearing, but when I explain it to goalies in person, I swear, is you back up as slow as you possibly can without blanking yourself over. Okay. Now, what that means is on a breakaway, you do need backflow for so many reasons. People just think you need backflow just in case they deke. That is a big one. That is definitely a big one, but you also need backflow because backflow makes you more patient. Okay. That's number one. So you do need backflow. The second one is how far do you come out? So I teach guys no more than about a foot above the crease. The less you come out, the slower you can back up. And then it's on them. And it comes back to you back up as slow as you can without screwing yourself over. So if there is no like you match this, you did no, like you want to, there's tips. The guy, as the puck enters the slot, you should just be entering your crease. That's what I teach. But how they get there all depends on their preference. And you're going to have some kids that want to come out far and they like to back up fast. And if that's what works for them, then we allow it. We have some kids that just aren't great laterally, so we make them come out less so they can back up less and back up with more control. We have guys that are better puck trackers, so we can have them stay a little bit deeper and back up a little even slower. So there's no right way or wrong way to play a breakaway. But the number one thing is you have to have backflow and you want to back up as slow as the play will allow you to.
That identify early. So there we talked, I think this would have been last year, where the first thing you do every season is identifying in zone entries early. So same thing on a breakaway. So the question asks for a drill. Now, is there a drill for this? Yes, breakaways. Like just do more breakaways. Just do more breakaways. And then you can create any sort of artificial constraint. You can create it as a quick turnover. So you have the goalie start in the goal line and you tap your stick and then you attack. And it forces them, okay, players coming in at a different speed, or I wasn't able to get set as much. Now I have to judge and stuff. But a lot of like it's a read, it's a feel. Like each goalie is going to play the breakaway slightly different, as Derek said. So best way to do it is just to do a lot of breakaways. And if a goalie is constantly getting caught flat-footed and dropping and you're going right around them, explain. You got to have some backflow. We will allow you to not get caught flat-footed, allows you to be able to move laterally. And then you just kind of work it and work it and work it and work it. And eventually it starts to stick. But most kids are horrible at breakaways because it's new, but they get better. Pardon?
How many skating drills do you do with added backflow as a function of the skating drill?
Oh, me? A lot. Most? Not very.
Yeah, I say with me, I do a lot. Now, I'm going to hypothesize. Sorry, that's a bad word. I'm going to hypothesize on the questionnaire here that their goalie is probably giving up a lot of breakaways, goals. They're probably 9 or 10 years old. And mom or dad is asking this because they're worried because their kid can just not stop them. And I will say this. When your kid is little, they're going to get scored on breakaways probably 80% of the time because those are good scoring chances. And when your goalie is little, playing in a big net, if they deke, it's very hard with being very weak to get and cover that space. And if they shoot, your goalie is very small and the net is very big. So I would just give your kid some patience and give him a little bit of time to figure out breakaways before you start renting ice in Oklahoma and bringing out pro shooters for your 9-year-old and doing 750 breakaways because Jamie just said The best way to work on breakaways is breakaways. Pump the brakes a little bit. They're gonna get scored on. Goalies are gonna get
Yeah. Oh well. This one is for you. Are Bauer Connects worth the investment for kids who aren't done growing?
Yeah.
Agreed.
Do I really need to say more than that?
No, I don't think so. I just think that's a straight up answer. We both are on the same page with Connects are really, really good. Okay, this question comes from email.
Oh,
I know. Pardon?
how archaic and old fashioned.
I know. I have an 11-year-old. I have an 11-year-old that was planning on doing some basic off-ice stuff this summer, but I'm not sure if it's a good idea. The reason I'm not sure is if it's needed is he goes to a local camp all day. He spends all day swimming, playing soccer, tennis, all sorts of activities. I feel like he's already active enough and doesn't need any more. Would it be more about getting the foundation for going when kids get older? Also, I want to know your thoughts on all-in-one home gym, blah, 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 blah. Not gonna answer that. So no, because he's 11 and it's always already doing all the things that we want young athletes to do, spending all day swimming, playing soccer, tennis, and all sorts of other activities. I wouldn't worry so much about the foundation because the foundation should be athleticism. Usually what I would recommend is if an athlete isn't able to do all those things or any of those things, then yeah, we could throw in a very basic beginner exercise program where they're just learning how to squat, lunge, hinge, push, pull, carry, really easy, and like a controlled format, but he's already doing the right things. Especially if he's going to be all day at camp and in the sun and just having a great time, like just let him be a kid. So let him be a kid, let him have fun. When the season starts and he's not able to do all those things, yeah, you can start to trickle in a little bit of foundational training. And like hopefully all organizations have some sort of dry land stuff where if it's done well and it's age appropriate, they'll learn how to balance on single leg, learn how to do plyos, and that's kind of when they get that foundation. But right now it sounds like he's already doing everything right. And then before I let Derek chime in, all-in-one home gym, I'm not 100% sure what you mean by that. I'm assuming it's kind of like a total gym or like one of those classic Bowflexes and things. Honestly, when someone's young and they want to get into basic weight training, best investment that you can get is just get some adjustable dumbbells that are like a squat rack, a bench, some med balls, couple bands. That's really all you need. Also like a light bar with some light weights, especially for a young kid. But I would rather that money be spent if you're able to get a couple sessions with like a youth sports trainer to like learn what it's like to move and stuff. That's probably better than doing it yourself unless you are someone who has a training background.
That was a great answer. The only thing I would add was like if your son or daughter comes home from camp and asks you to want to do something more, like if it's not you asking this question because you want your kid to do more, but your son is coming home and saying, hey, can I do this? Then I would say throw on some mobility video on YouTube and stretch with your kid. I wouldn't be doing any weight training if you are not capable of teaching them. But if they're asking to do more, then do a stretching or mobility video with them 2 times a week. And there's thousands of them on YouTube. And I'm sure I know somebody who would sell you some sort of custom mobility program for $10,000 to $12,000 a week. Goalie Method. You could message Jamie Phillips. But that would be my thing. If they're asking and they want to do it, then find a solution that you are capable of doing with your child. Why not do that? That's cool.
I think so. I think there's a lot. That's more of that question for you. But one thing you see in the literature, and as someone who will have kids one day and is scared poopless about being a dad, being able to like show to exercise and show kind of good habits to my kids is a really important thing that I want to instill. And so if you're able to like kind of if they're interested and you're able to do something together, you get bonding time, but also like it's just something fun. It's more time you're able to spend with your child. And that's ultra important. Next question. This one is from our favorite German lady. How much wine can a goalie drink? And she spelled it vine, and they were referring to Laura, who's my buddy Ray's girlfriend. Turns out it's a lot. And it could have been more if we just kept the party bus going, but it was pretty good.
Well, what Bobrovsky? How much wine do you think Bobrovsky has drank? And the guy is just winning Stanley Cup after Stanley Cup.
Yeah, as soon as you win the Stanley Cup or get married, then you can drink a lot of wine, and then it's back on the elite goalie mindset.
Did you? I don't. I interrupt you. There's a story that every time he got a shutout throughout the years, that he would buy someone on the team a very nice bottle of wine, very nice, expensive bottle of wine. So all the names of the team would go into a hat, and you get a shutout. You pull out a name, and you can only win once. So pull out Verhaeghe. He would give Verhaeghe like $1,000 bottle of wine, and he would do this all throughout the entire season. And I think this year when he got into the playoffs, I think he had a lot, but I think it got caught on by some of the reporters and started to get reported that was going on. And I just thought that was a pretty cool story because that's such a Sergei Bobrovsky thing to do.
So people that don't know, in professional hockey, it's usually in professional, it's something called money on the board, where like if it's your birthday, or let's just say your girlfriend's in town, or you're playing against your former team, you have to put money on the board. So you write up a set amount, and that if you win, the team wins, then the money goes into basically the team fund, where it goes towards paying for a party at the end of the year or at Christmas. And and so there's always some sort of thing of money on the board. One thing that I did a little bit where it would be like, I started to do money on the board per period, whereas every period that we as a team didn't give up a goal, it would be like $20. So instead of me putting up a win at like $60 for a win or $50 for a win, it'd be like, hey, every period that we as a team play like defensive structure and don't give up a goal, it's 20 extra bucks. So even if and you only get that if you win the total game too. And so it was just a fun thing. And the boys loved it because, all of a sudden there's a couple extra block shots there, a couple extra easy chips out, because it'd be like, hey, if we don't give up a goal this period, we're going to get all $60 or something like that. So there's a lot of different fun ways.
So that you paid at $20?
I paid at $20.
So you go first period, no goals against, like then you're throwing $20 in the team pot.
It would be like, so let's just say we win the game 4-2. And we gave up 2 goals in the first period, but the other in the second period and third period, we didn't give up any goals. I pay $40 instead of just the straight up, hey, I'm putting $20 on the board. So it was kind of like an incentivized thing, but the money only goes towards the team if you win. If anytime you put money on the board and you don't win, like you lose. Or someone's like first game, like anytime you get like my first American League game, I put like $500 on the board. Just because it's like my first game, it's going to pot. Like I want to win, we want to win. Like let's put all this money, let's go. And so it's just something fun.
You paid $500 for a win.
Yeah. Well, because I lost my first American League game, and I really wanted to my first start, and I really wanted to win the next one.
Wow.
Yeah, it was worth it.
I never knew this. This is a new thing.
Money. You never heard about money on the board?
I've heard of money on the board, but I never heard this AHL $500 money on the board stuff.
Oh, yeah, no, it was pretty good. It was Canadian though. So it was like $25. Got him. Yeah. So no, it was one of those fun things that we can do. All right, let's just see if there's anything else. Any advice to goalies starting out older? I guess this person says as in 35 years older. Yes. Have some fun. Just enjoy it. In all seriousness, like enjoy it. And then just make sure we always want people to be exercising and like doing their mobility and all that stuff. When you are older, it is even more important to do that stuff. So just make sure at the very least you're doing a warm up before you get on the ice. Don't just come in hot from your job where if you've been sitting at a desk all day, nothing, and then you come in guns a-blazing with a Red Bull and you start to play. Like there's no warm up in men's league. We know how stuff works. Go through a 10-15 minute warm up. I don't want to hear the excuse like, just if you can, leave 10 minutes early to get to the game. Plan that as part of your routine and your schedule. Just do a warm up, like very basic. Do a warm up, get your body sweating. You'll feel a lot better by the time you start to play, and it's less likely that you're gonna rip something, and then you will go back to how to stay focused when you're injured question.
Yeah, and if you're 35, you got disposable income, buy as much goalie gear as you possibly can because that is going to just fuel your love for the game and the position.
Yes. Make sure it's Bauer. Jack the best hitter. This is more of an Ackerman question, but you're around Ackerman more, so I'll send this to you. Basically, is there any like new frontiers in sports vision training that you've seen or that Ackerman's been doing or something? Because you bring a group of athletes there quite frequently. So is there anything that you've seen or done that was different than the things that I was doing 10 years ago?
Well, when this pod is drops on Wednesday, I will be probably on my way to see Ackerman because I do take a group every Wednesday. I would say like the biggest thing I've seen him add in over the last couple of years is more VR training. And it's more for he does that for spatial awareness and learning to use your peripheral vision better. But frontier, I mean, like that's the one thing is when there's a big shift in development, it's through technology. So technological advances are what drives change. So I would say there's probably a lot of what he does are tried, tested, and repeatable things that work. And that's the one thing is everybody wants the quick fix and everything. Everybody wants like the new shiny thing. When something new comes out, it takes a long time before there's research and evidence on whether it worked or not. So I don't really know. Other than that, I can say is I've seen him just implement more VR than I did 5 years ago. I don't know if that answers the question or not, but I mean, man, like speed training from the 80s isn't much different than it is now. Like the guys that were the fastest squatted, got strong, worked on technique and mechanics. I mean, the guys in the 80s shot up probably cheaper drugs than they do nowadays. The guys in the Olympics, now it's way more state funded doping, but you get fast the same way as you did before. Like some things just work. And when those things work, they don't go away. So that's the only thing I would say. Is like I seen him using that. That's a question for him. I seen him using more VR, and that's really all.
Yeah, I don't have anything to add because I haven't been to Milton Sports Vision in a bit. I would say I like what you said there because I was about to say it is when new things come along, there will be new things all the time, but to actually show the evidence as repeatable and it's valid and reliable, that takes so much time, which is why science in general moves slow. Like everyone's always like, oh, why can't you just do it? But science takes time because you got to prove things right. You got to prove things wrong. So like it's possible that, in the future that VR comes out, it's like VR is actually bad. I don't think that's going to be the case, but it's possible because we have to compare and do all these studies and we just don't know. And then like you said there, it's funny because I love that you said that where you're like all the things that athletes were doing in the 80s and all the things out of, Russia and the East German training and all that stuff. It's funny because like it worked and everyone did it. And everyone's like, hey, we need to try all these new things. And then now it's almost regressing back where they're like, why aren't we just jumping more? Like you'll see these videos of these like Russian athletes, they'll be like jumping. So like the term plyometrics, the original term by, I think it was Verkhoshansky, was like shock training. So a plyometric is stepping off something and absorbing force. And whether you absorb that force and then distribute it back with another jump, like true plyometrics is the ability to absorb force. Like just starting from zero and jumping up, by definition, isn't a plyometric. But we'll see these videos, and they're on my social media now, of all these athletes or these vintage videos of athletes at like a sports stadium jumping continuously down steps. And like we see that and they're like, oh, they're not using a crazy Kaiser machine, super dynamic banded jump. You don't need it. Like those things work for a reason. You know, when your entire country's geopolitical system relied on becoming the best athlete, you're gonna have some pretty good training material, and it already exists. So it's like a lot of the training now is it's like now it's like regressing. It's just coming back full circle to like, oh, the things that we were doing 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, it worked. And also, like you said, the drugs, the Olympics the Olympics do help. You ever heard of this enhanced games thing? The enhanced games? Have you seen that?
Okay, is that real? Like, I didn't know. Yeah. I've seen them, seen these things, but I have no idea if it's like, or if it's like SNL skits, or
no. Well, it is real. So the goal is just to have an enhanced game with prize money, and there's just no drug testing. And I love all of it because we are either going to see no records broken, or the times in the Olympics are going to still be faster than the times in the enhanced games. And what is that going to say? They're going to be like, oh, the best athletes are still just going to Olympics?
Yeah. I saw a picture of an Olympic swimmer. I think it was an American, and it showed
Australian. He's the Australian swimmer. Yeah.
It showed side by side him in the Olympics, then him now training for these enhanced games, which I didn't know if it was real or not, because he looks like a mutant. Like, he is like he's added on probably got to be 30 to 35 pounds of just lean muscle. He's massive. But will that make him swim faster? I don't know.
He didn't break any world records in their time trials.
So they're having, I don't know.
I love that. We need to get
on drugs. Usain Bolt was on drugs.
Yeah.
You can't run the 3 fastest times in the history of the world against all of these other guys that have popped and admitted to rapid steroid use and be like, I was just eating bananas and drinking orange juice and just living clean. No, man. Like, there's no way. The fastest man that's ever lived is beating all these enhanced athletes, and he's clean. I have all the respect in the world for Usain Bolt. That guy was incredible. He ran the fastest times I've ever seen, and he jogged some of them. That guy was gassed to the gills.
Just like okay, so like Lance Armstrong's a great example. Like Lance Armstrong, and actually I don't know if you'd admit this because he's a pretty big narcissist, but I do like watching his documentaries because although he, from the outside looking in, was a horrible person, never tested positive. He never once tested positive. Tons of gear. They were all on performance enhancing drugs because they had to be. No, your body just can't do a Tour de France, and unless it's just like your Sunday ride and you're just chilling and it takes the place over 4 months. Like, your body can't perform at that amount. And so everyone's on drugs. He never tested positive, but everyone's just like, I don't know. It blows my mind that they think that like he still would have won if he didn't take drugs. No, he still would have had that crazy mindset. It's not like you just take drugs and all of a sudden you're superhuman. You still have to be the best genetically. You still have to train like a crazy person. But like the Olympic sports like that, it's even sports you don't think, like shooting. Like, there's a reason things like beta blockers, which slow down your heart rate, and all these things are blocked or banned. Testosterone. People have tested positive for testosterone and in chess, competitive chess, because it helps your focus. Not because you need it to be jacked to move the pieces around, because it helps you focus. It gives you an edge. Anytime there is money on the table, people will find a way to enhance it. And so, like, I am very intrigued about this enhanced games because I don't know if it will last more than one time, because if no records are broken, or maybe only like 2 or 3 records are broken, then it's just like, do we keep?
When does it happen?
I don't. It's supposed to, because there's LA. What's the next Summer Olympics? 2028 LA.
The next Summer Olympics will be 2028. Yeah, this 26.
26 winter, so LA 2028. So I think, I don't know, but I think it's supposed to run around the same time. It's supposed to be like another spectacle competing.
And who is running this enhanced games? Like, what?
It was like it was a tech billionaire guy. Enhanced Games 2020. Enhanced Games. It's a website. There we go. So they are doing Enhanced Games Las Vegas 2025. Beginning of Elite Air and Sport. So it's happening in Vegas in May. Oh, 2026 looks like. I don't know why it says 2025 on the thing. May 21st to 24th, 2026. There are very simple to start. It's swimming, 50 meters and 100 meters freestyle, 50 and 100 butterfly, track and field, 100 meter sprint, 100 meter, 110 meter hurdles, and then weightlifting, snatch, and clean and jerk. So 3 events. That's it. The person who started it and its games founder. He's a tech guy. Australian businessman Aaron D'Souza. Yeah. He's an Australian businessman. Yeah. Also with Peter Thiel, which is a whole other thing. We won't get into that. But yeah, it's just kind of be like rich people being rich and spending their money on something, I guess.
No, it'll be interesting because I'd like to see like the starting gate for the 100 because I mean, they can be gas, but if they're still not like guys that are in their prime, and I can't see anybody who's in their prime running in this enhanced games and then trying to go to the Olympics in the year after or 2 years.
What would be perfect is if they had it right after the Olympics. So like people that won the gold medal, and then they could be like, okay, I'm done. I'm gonna gear up for a year and then I'm gonna perform and I'm gonna retire to see if they could actually beat their times. And if they don't,
I mean, they put a $10 million prize on the 100 meters. That would make things interesting.
the prize money would have, well, I mean, most Olympic athletes don't get paid a lot of money, like, or any money. It's all sponsorship dollars. If they put a ludicrous amount of money on like to win, then you had 10 million. Like there's what, like 6 total events, 3 disciplines, 6 total events. Like if you put $10 million on each of those, you will get the best athletes in the world competing right after the Olympics, because why not? Like, why not? You're already like on drugs. You could just say like, this is for science, and I'm open about it, and I would like to set my family up for life. Done. But so we should talk about performance enhancing drugs in hockey. That was it for questions. The rest of them was just like Dave DiDonato said he's very upset that he's not on the pod. And what is he getting on the pod? If he did not sleep the whole drive home, he probably would have get an invite, but he slept, so we gotta wait until next wedding to do it. You do need to meet in person and do an in-person pod in September. So if you're able to, like I said, if you and Dave can come in, or just so you're able to come in a day early for the wedding, one, you can slang some weight in the gym with me, maybe hop on the ice, do some guest skates, but we could actually do an in-person pod.
Yeah, I'm gonna come down. If we're gonna do skates, I come down.
All right. Okay, that's good to know. I'll set that up then.
Yeah.
Also, 0 chance we would have been able to articulate any of those questions or answers like the last weekend. Like, it would have been awful.
No, and first question. That was a very good question. That question in itself was a podcast.
I was like, yeah, you know what? That's perfect. Let's tee that up into another podcast when we're running low on ideas. What is your party shot?
My party shot is, I mean, and I'm not judging, I'm just, and this is a stance that we've taken lots of times, is, so I get ice at an arena and I'm on the ice, and after me is all these other goalie camps, and they have 37 goalies on the ice, and I'm on the ice and I have 6, and I'm running an hour and a half sessions with pro junior OHL shooters, and they go on after me with 30 goalies and 75 shooters, and they're all kids that are 11 and 10 years old shooting on 15-year-olds. And I understand the fun of a camp. I understand making friends, but I just caution parents that if you're doing a camp for fun and to get rid of your kid because you just don't like them and you want them to go away for a week, I get that. I respect that. But if you're looking for those camps to add development, that's not the development that you want. And it bothered me last week because a guy literally running a camp watched my entire hour with a notebook. And then I go on and I see all my skating warm-up drills being used 1 hour later. So I was just laughing. But it is what it is.
I have expressed my thoughts on those multi goalie camps. I'm gonna make mine quick because I just got a voicemail from some gym equipment that's getting dropped off at my small apartment. I need to go pick it up. My party shot is a shout out, and it goes to my wife's friend Alyssa for rallying through last weekend. I know you're sick of hearing the bachelorette party, but she in the first night injured her knee severely and had to go to the hospital and still finished the entire weekend. So honestly, if you're talking about blue game and playing injured, that's the kind of dedication we need around here. So sign her up. But yeah, no real shout outs. That was just a fun time, and it was nice to see all the boys and have a weekend.
Where Ryan?
Oh yeah, and shout out to Ryan.
Talking hockey with that guy. That guy was cool. That guy, like, he's a good dude. So shout out to Ryan. Sit and talk about his bunch of hours and being an absolute beauty.
Ryan Wolford, Rink Rat Media on Instagram. He is my videographer and friend, and he came to the wedding or the bachelor party to record and just kind of make some fun videos for us to keep as our memories. He's a Derek fanboy, so you got to talk to Derek and stuff. He will be at the wedding, so you guys can keep it up. But Ryan is awesome. If you are someone who's looking for video work, he does it all. He's very good at what he does. So check him out on Instagram. I'll link it in the description of this video. Rink Rat Media. And everyone, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And we'll see everyone next week.